Hello everyone and welcome back to another TSW video. Today we have the newest article from DTG named East Coastway Elder, and it's including information on the class 313. Before we get into the video, I'm going to ask all of you to hit the like button if you haven't already, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to support me even further, consider becoming a channel member by clicking the blue join button below or by checking out the link in the description. Let's get into it. So, starting off, we see a picture of the class 313 coming off, I believe, the London Bridge Viaduct here. If we just zoom in, we can see they have the working PIS on it. The livery looks alright. I don't know, it looks a little bare. I think this is like the actual livery of the train, but I feel like something's missing on it. But it does look nice, very similar to the 314. It's just third rail powered, has some different controls. But moving on, we take our first look at the veteran unit for East Coastway, the BR Class 313 EMU, coming soon to Train Sim World 2. With the withdrawal of the BR Class 483 EMU from the Isle of Wight's Island line, the BR Class 313 EMU took the crown for the oldest electric multiple unit in public service across Britain's mainline railways, having served commuters since 1976. Built at the now closed Holgate Road Carriage Works in York by British Rail Engineering Limited, or also known as BREL, it was the first of the second generation of British Railway EMUs and carried the torch for another 4 similar classes that preceded it. I believe that's referencing the 314, possibly the 315, and the 314, the 507 and 508 from Merseyrail, I believe. But it says, originally designed to work Great Northern inner suburban services, its proposed route included a short section of tube line, thus required some unique design features. Built to a slightly shorter loading gauge, it gives a rather boxier look from the front than the vast majority of its EMU cousins. It also has emergency doors in the center of each cab in compliance with London Underground safety requirements. And here we have a picture of it at Brighton. Next to a class 377. We see the old class 377 in this picture, the one that originally was featured on East Coastway. So that's a sign that we will not be seeing the new 377 from London to Brighton on East Coastway for a while now. They said that Adams' team would have to go back and implement it on the route. But so far, I'm liking the way the train looks. From this picture, it doesn't look bare to me as much as the other picture. It could just be the way I'm looking at it, but it looks pretty nice. I like it. Moving on, we have another picture. I assume this is like coming into Lewes here. Yeah, it looks like it's coming into Lewes here, because you can see the island platform right here, and I assume that's the other platform that you usually enter on going into Lewes when you get the 10-mile-an-hour speed reduction. Moving on, its power supply also introduced a first on Britain's railways, dual voltage. Equipped with a pantograph for 25 kV AC overhead lines and a shoe gear for 750 DC third rail supply, it had the freedom to be used on a variety of lines across the network. Working services for Southern, Great Northern, and an eclectic mix of routes in between, this plucky little commuter EMU has really made the most of its dual voltage capabilities. I remember reading that it ran on, I believe, who ran London Overground? I believe it was Silverlink on the Watford DC line between Queen's Park, on the current Bakerloo line actually, between Queen's Park and Watford Junction. And who knows? I feel like when this train comes out, there's gonna be a whole bunch of people making the Silverlink livery for this train, and I'll probably be one of those people if I'm being completely honest, because I really do like the Silverlink livery, and I really do think this train will be a nice train to operate on the Bakerloo line between Queen's Park and Heron-Wealdstone. And honestly, if done correctly, they could implement this train just with a different livery on the timetable of the Bakerloo line, where it's currently running the 38 stock, you know? I feel like it'll work well, being that I think the 313s ran in the Silverlink livery on the Watford DC line when the 38 stock was still in service on the Bakerloo line. I might be incorrect on that, but I believe this was like around the same time period. When refurbished for running on the Southern Coastway, the BR Class 313 EMU had its pantograph removed. So we will not be seeing any pantograph running with this train in the game, unlike the Class 314. Hold on. Hold up. The GSMR radio is working? Wow. If we're able to use the GSMR radio on the Class 313, that's a new feature that I'm very interested in seeing how they implement that. We have not seen the GSMR radio active on any of the British trains in the game so far. I'm not sure about the Diesel Legends of Great Western. However, we didn't see it on the Class 166, the 377/4/1, the 387, the 314, none of those. But on the 313, the GSMR radio seems like it's working. I'm excited to see how that works. But here we have a cab picture. We see the cab is somewhat similar to the Class 314. It has some changes. I definitely noticed the fan is missing from over here. The GSMR radio is more visible. We see, I believe this is maybe an announcement display here. I wonder if we're able to put in the head code on the GSMR radio. But we see the phone, or I believe that's where the driver makes the announcements. But it does look somewhat similar with a couple of differences. The RA's down there. The door close button is actually down here instead of up there. So this is very interesting looking at this train now. Here we have another picture, a little reflection. This might be around the Seaford area, or no, that's Brighton. Never mind. That's coming out of Brighton, yeah. I originally thought that was like New Haven Harbor or whatever. But having served the public for 45 years, there are now only 20 remaining units of the 64 originally built. Upon their introduction to the East Coastway, media and unions thought it was a controversial move to run such a dated stock. However, moving these smaller 3-car units to more rural areas made the way for longer trains and station improvements, such as platform lengthening across the wider southern network in the busier south of London. It's a very cool piece of information. People did, it was a controversial decision to move the 313s onto the southern East Coastway line and West Coastway line, being that they're so old, they're more prone to breakdowns and stuff, unlike the Class 314s, the sister units, But they do run on the Coastway lines. It'll be a mix of them, a mix of 377s and 313s when we finally get this new train in the game. I wonder if it'll be on AI services coming out of Brighton. But it was a controversial move. I'm not sure when they're going to replace the 313s or if they are going to replace them at all. I wonder what trains they're going to replace them with, I don't think Southern would get like any Class 707s or 700s or anything of the sort. So it'll be interesting in a few years to see what Govia decides to replace the 313s with. And here we have another picture. We see the destination board is reading Lewis. But here we have another picture of it stabled, I believe, or just lined up with a 377 here at Brighton. Real cool. And this is the New Haven Harbor picture. I remember that ferry. That ferry, I believe, was featured in a scenario where you take people from Lewis, I believe, to New Haven Harbor to get on the ferry. I think that ferry takes you to France, actually. I'm not completely sure, though. But this veteran of British commuter services is coming soon to Train Sim World 2 East Coastway. The BR Class 313 EMU enhances the already magnificent East Coastway and gives you an entirely new way to enjoy one of Train Sim World's most popular routes. PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series players will be able to use the BR Class 313 EMU with the add-on Rush Hour London Commuter. 12 playable and AI services will be able to be enjoyed. Wow. I mean, 12, it's only 12, but still, 12 playable services with the 313. I wonder if that's like taking the 313s out of Brighton and bringing them to the Lovers Walk Depot. That might be the types of services they're including with the 313, but that's very interesting. Or hear me out, the 313s, since they do run on the West Coastway line, we could be taking the trains to Hove and then giving it off to an AI operator. But that's very interesting. Definitely looking forward to the Class 313. I made my What You Should Know video a couple months ago on it, and I've been waiting impatiently and patiently. Impatiently, given that I did create a video on it a couple weeks ago talking about, you know, it's horrible that DTG's waited this long to release it. But off of that topic, I am excited for the 313. It looks like a cool loco to drive. I am a bit disappointed that we're only able to operate it on the Brighton to, I believe, Seaford branch, and I know that's where they run in real life, but I would have enjoyed it if we're able to operate across a longer stretch of track, you know, maybe something to along the West Coastway line, but that could appear in a future DLC. I am excited to see this. Hopefully, it would be more of value if they did include like a silver link livery and then allowed us to run it on the Watford DC line. That would give it so much more value. But overall, the train does look nice. It looks well modeled. I really do like how it looks, and I'm looking forward to seeing when it releases. But if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you would like to support me even further, consider becoming a channel member with the link in the description below. Peace.